Good morning, everybody. It is time for Tao of the Day. This means that anybody that wants to jump up and pick a number between 1 and 81, why don't you join me now and we can talk about your Tao for the day. The Tao is an ancient text written about 600 BC, and it has 81 verses, which is why you would be picking a number between 81 and 81 to choose what we read today. What we will share is just insights about how to live a more reasonable life. So the Tao Te Ching translates to the canon of reason. A lot of people want to translate it to the way, but the way is, it's a real abstract way of looking at how we live our lives. So when I translate, I like to utilize this other version of the translation, which kind of states the states it in more of a general way, which is like this is the canon of reason. This is the core. This is the root of living a reasonable life. And so, if anybody would like to jump up and join me, I would love to have you with me because the Tao. The Tao helped me in my sobriety. The Tao helped me in my recovery. The Tao helps me every day to just be more at one with myself and the world around me. And I don't have to work so hard at being what other people want me to be or what other people expect me to be. I'm always here to be present with who I am and to try and just take that next step towards being what I am being without judgment of others, without having expectations of what others should be doing or what I think I should be doing. It's always about like being here, being present, and now. So if you have a number between 1 and 81 you would like to share with me, why don't you jump on up and just pick a number and we'll have a little conversation about like that Tao for your day. And this is a fun little exercise that I like to engage in. And I'm giving everybody just a couple minutes to try and pop on and come up. So if anybody's listening would like to come up and pick a number, this is a fun little excitement for your day. This will give you a little bit of a give you a little something to carry with you today, a little meditation maybe, to see what life has in terms of living a reasonable life for you. Once again, this is the Tao of the Day. I read the Tao Te Ching. I ask you to pick a number between 1 and 81, and I will read that number with you. We'll go through it line by line, and we'll see what it has to offer you. I'm looking at numbers for myself today, and I think I'm going to go with 37. 37 seems like a good number for me today. I don't know what it has to say. Let's see, shall we? And if you have a number between 1 and 81, definitely chime in, come on up, and I would love to host you on the Tao of the Day. Uh, I'm picking 37. The Tao, pardon me, the Tao never does anything, yet through it, all things are done. If powerful men and women would venture would center themselves in it, there's a typo here. If powerful men and women could center themselves in it, the whole world would be transformed by itself in its nature, in its natural rhythms. I am reading this really poorly today, so I'm going to start over. I picked 37. If you have a number that you would like to pick for your Tao for today, definitely chime in and let me know, and I'll bring you up and we'll go through your Tao for the day. So mine is 37. The Tao never does anything, yet through it all things are done. If powerful men and women could center themselves in it, the whole world would be transformed by itself in its natural rhythms. People would be content with their simple, everyday lives in harmony and free of desire. When there is no desire, all things are at peace. And that's something that I've, even in my journaling this morning, I wrote about this idea of desire and where I have lingering desire in my life and things that, I want to move towards, and really trying to put those in check in a way that's really what I want to do. I want to be able to keep my desires in check to an extent, right? I'm not trying to say that I don't want to live without any desire. I am here in the physical world, and so I do want to engage that. But this concept of like, how much desire do we have, and how much are we looking towards having something, or achieving something, or what have you, and really trying to put that on a back burner and allow myself to be here right now, right? Like, as it says in here, people would be content with their simple everyday lives, in harmony and free of desire. And that's really where we want to get, right? We want to get to this place where we are in harmony. In harmony could mean blissful, right? Like, the Buddha talks a lot about blissfulness. And I'm not a Buddhist, and I'm really not even a Taoist, because those, as we start kind of like putting that ist at the end of it, it does start to kind of feel more religious. Although Tao definitely has two rungs, right? There's the religious rung, and then there is the philosophical rung. And I stick really closely to the Tao Te Ching and only kind of philosophize around the Tao Te Ching. So it is more of a philosophical sort of stance that I take. And so here we're going to start going through this number 37 line by line. If you have a number between 1 and 81 you'd like to share, and you want to explore, it's kind of like pulling a card, right? There are 81. So it's very similar to tarot, which you might be familiar with. So the Tao of the day is similar to that, where you pick a number that comes to you. We read that number, and of course, you can manipulate that if you'd like. If you have a translation of the Tao and you know which one you want, you can definitely manipulate that. But if you reach into your heart and ask for a number, the Tao is going to give you information that you need to hear. Whether or not you want to hear it is a different story. And that's always the great thing about intuition. Like, if you want to hear it, well, you can always do things to get yourself to hear what you want to hear. But there are times when we're going to bring Christina up, but there are times when there's information you don't want to hear, and sometimes reaching into your heart can find that. Christina, how are you doing?
I'm good. Can you
Good.
hear me okay? Because I'm kind of got some weird audio stuff going on. Are you okay with? Can you hear
Yeah,
me?
yeah, yeah. I mean,
Okay.
you do sound like you're in, like a
Like
breezy
an
bathroom.
appointment.
But like, are you in an outhouse right now?
Okay, no. I'm just driving my Jeep and it's not taking the hands free, so I'm kind of
Oh, okay.
talking
Yeah,
this.
no, you're fine. I like being. Is it like a classic like Jeep Wrangler, or is
Yeah,
it like,
it's
oh,
like
two
I
door,
love
four
it.
door? What do you got?
I've got a Sahara 4 door.
Four door. Okay.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I'm like, I don't have the children or anything, so I do like the two door. But I've always wanted one. Never
Oh,
did get a chance to have one. They're a bumpy ride.
yeah. I love it. I don't know. I've always wanted one too, and then
Yeah, it's
I
our
was
it's our age bracket, I think.
Yeah, I think so too. And I was like, okay, I've got kids. I can put them in the back and still put the roof down and feel like a cool
Nice.
mom.
Yeah. You are a cool mom. I will give you that.
So yeah. So, anyways, I'm happy that we could connect today, my friend.
Oh, me too. It's always like we always get so emotional on these.
It's so good. It's so good. And
So, what number do you have?
yeah, 63.
63. Okay, here we go. Ready?
Mm-hmm.
Act without doing, work without effort. Think of the small as the large and the few as the many. Confront the difficult while it is still easy. Accomplish the great task by a series of small acts. The master never reaches for the great, thus she achieves greatness. When she runs into difficulty, she stops and gives herself to it. She doesn't cling to her own comfort, thus problems are no problem for her. That's it.
Woo! I really see my intuition. Woo woo. Okay. So, yeah, it's kind of like for me, what it's saying is like celebrate the small wins and don't. I would say don't get trapped in the idea of a problem, like a big
Mm-hmm.
problem,
Mm-hmm.
because a big problem really doesn't exist. I guess it's how you approach it.
Yeah. I like this one because it always brings to mind this idea that I carry with me, where it's like, do everything with the utmost um integrity and professionalism. Like, I don't
Yes.
care if you're talking to one person or no people. Like, for me to come on here every day, and I know some days I have to come on here at 6 a.m. and no one's been on, but I do it anyway, and I show up as me completely. Whether people
I
join
love
me or
that.
not, like, I am being here present with what I do, because
Mm.
this doing is actually me being, because I'm
Oh,
called to be
yes.
here. You know, it's not
Yes.
it's not as if I am like, oh, I gotta do this. No, it's like it's so great. And even though wisdom has only been out for a little while, like I have done Tao of the Day for decades. Like
Oh, I
on
love it.
different, like on like my memories come up on Facebook, and it's just like, then I have this quote which is Tao of the Day, and then it might say act without doing, work without effort. It might just say that, right?
Yep.
But like that's coming up, and I'm realizing that I've been doing this for such a long time, but this is just a new iteration of it.
Yes.
So
I
that's what this brings to me. Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. So it's just it really aligns. It's such a beautiful reminder to be honest for me, and I'm very grateful. Just be,
Yeah.
because when you be, you're actually taking action because
Right.
it's who you are.
Like you can't not take action, but
Right.
if you plan your action, and like the Tao uses one of these phrases, like if you get crafty, like all of a sudden things start getting a little going sideways. But if you can
Yes.
just like let go, and this is a great reminder for me as well, because I was reading 37 before you came on, and 37 was talking about this idea of desire. And it's like when you have
Mm.
desire, you start to craft ideas about how to get that which you want, and that's something that
Mm.
like that comes and goes, and we have to like deal with that and face it and stuff. And so this is a really good kind of pairing with that, for me at this moment. So I'm going to
Yeah.
start going through
Yeah.
this
Go
line by
ahead.
line, and we're going to see
Yes.
where we get. So act without doing, work without effort. That's where we start.
Okay. So I think it's just for what's speaking to me is just continue being you. Do it.
Yeah.
Do you. Don't try to fill a script for someone else.
You know,
You do you.
I love the second line, which says work without effort.
Mm,
Is what you're doing like effort, or is it just happening?
so
And to
interesting.
really question that, is this effort for me? Is this do I have to convince myself that this is good every morning when I wake
Mm,
up?
I love that. Because if you were to ask me that question, everything that I do when I'm aligned with joy and it's play, it's not effort. Like there's no effort. It's just so fun.
Absolutely.
And and the work product is awesome every single time. And that's not from a ego way. It just naturally flows. And I think it's a reminder, are you having fun? Are
Yeah.
you being in the space that you are naturally at? So yeah,
Right.
I
And
love
that's a hard thing to know. I think I struggle with knowing that sometimes,
mm,
because so much of what I have learned over the years is that everything is effort. And so you have to put in that
yes.
effort. Like even in my getting sober and stuff, it was like if I didn't put in the effort, if you don't do the work, as we say here in the first
Yeah.
world all the time, right? Do the work, do the work, do the work. And it's like, wait,
Yeah.
wait, now we have to realign, because and that's why I'm really glad that I've been reading the Tao for so long, because
Hmm.
it has been helpful. So think of the small as the large and the few as the many. This is what reminds me of that. Just do everything with professionalism, no matter who shows up. If you're worried about how many followers you have, if you're worried about how many, like
Yeah.
how many people you got going to your workshop, Garcia, that's me,
Yeah.
right? Like
Yeah.
if I'm worried about that, like if there's one person there, that's the one that I'm talking to. That I'm still approaching this from a professional place.
Well, I love that because what pops into my head, like whenever I do my speaking or whatnot, is always those that need to drink will drink. Not everybody will follow what you have to say, but if you're worried about whatever trying to please everyone, then you'll never get anywhere.
Hmm. Or if you wait for everyone to show up because like one
Yes.
person is there, well, then you'll never know your message because you're waiting. It's kind of like when I bought my first sketchbook.
Hmm.
I drew in it a couple times, and I was just like, "Oh, I want to save this for, great drawings." And then someone looked at me and was just like, "Well, but this is just the sketch, like just use it." And then I was like, and then all of a sudden I was just like, "You're right. I can just buy another one. There's 80 pages in here or whatever." And I started sketching all the time. I made like I went through a couple months where I decided that I was going to make 3 sketches a day, no matter
Hmm.
what they were, even if they were just scribble sort of like drawings. It's okay. You don't have to spend time on it. It's about making this and relieving yourself of the like relieving yourself of believing that this sketchbook is something important.
Oh, yeah, intuition is amazing because I'm. It's okay if I share a little bit, like
Please.
just next week I will be rolling out a leadership series on LinkedIn, and I haven't crossed that bridge yet. I've gone a lot of other social media platforms, but my professional platform, I'm like, oh my gosh, and there's that piece where it's kind of like, okay, does it look polished enough? Does it look like
Mm,
this enough? Does it? Da, da, da? And I think that's what it's speaking to.
yeah.
Oh my goodness. Yes. Okay.
And then this moves into confront the difficult while it's still easy. It's not
Mm,
going to be easy if you roll that out and it's permanent. And now it's like, oh, I got to go back 2 years from now and change it and whatever.
right.
But it's like, but confront it now. Like let yourself be here, be present, and then you're going to make another one. It's okay.
Yes.
And confront that idea now rather than being like, this is permanent. No, it's not. Nothing is.
Oh my gosh. I love this so much. Thank you, intuition. Thank you, spirit. Thank you, Martin. So good. Okay.
And then it says accomplish the great task. Okay, so it's not a great task, it is the great
Yeah, I
task
know. I know what it is. Yeah.
by a series of small acts. And
Yes.
that's
Oh
and
my.
that's what that's
Okay.
our
You're
that's
like,
our
okay, Christine, what are you freaking out
yeah,
about?
tell me,
Hey,
talk to me.
okay. So, okay, you and I are so aligned. It's not even funny. And I am absolutely grateful. And my heart is full of joy right now, my friend. So I know what the overall message is. And instead of, and so we'll go back to this leadership series.
Hmm.
Instead of doing this long, hour talk, I've broken it down into little mini segments. So that is
Right.
the small messages within the bigger message.
Mm.
Right?
Yes, yes, that's beautiful, that's so
It's
beautiful.
so awesome. Oh my goodness. Okay.
So now we have the master never reaches for the great, thus she
Yes.
achieves greatness.
Right. Stop trying to achieve to be great. Just be.
Right.
And the rest will fall into place. Oh my goodness, Martin.
when
I,
she
wow. Okay.
when she runs into difficulty, she stops and gives herself to it.
So lean into it.
Lean into it.
Lean into it.
Allow yourself to feel that
Yeah.
difficulty and not, and there was one there was a Tao that I read recently, and let's finish this, and I want to find that, and then I want to
Okay.
read that as well for
Okay.
you.
Oh,
Just
thank
this
you.
one section.
Yeah.
She doesn't cling to her own comfort, thus problems. Oh, this is it. This is the problems are no problem for her. So she doesn't cling to her own comfort, thus problems are no problem for her.
Oh my God. This is the one. This is good.
Yeah, this is like
See?
it's probably because I read it already today and it was just like that was in my mind, and then I
Oh,
got to the line and it was like, but what I wanted to read was like I didn't know what the line before it was, but I wanted to read to you the thus problems are no problem for her, and it's because one doesn't cling to comfort.
so
Comfort is one of those things, and I'm sorry,
no,
I
go
want
ahead.
you to
Go
speak,
ahead.
but comfort is one of those things that I'm always challenging.
Yes.
Like so
Agreed.
I don't know how much you know about my like morning routine and if you've ever heard it, but I write in a journal, and for the last 2 years I've been writing with my non-dominant hand, and for the last
Mm,
4 months I've been writing one line right to left and the next line left to right
I love that.
with my non-dominant hand. um, and I do that with my non-dominant hand because I realized when I was doing it with my dominant hand as well, I wouldn't be able to write notes to people because it would just be commonplace for me to write backwards and forwards. So just constantly putting myself in a space of discomfort is so good, because when discomfort arises, I don't have to run from it because it's something that I'm used to.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. I totally agree. Face the fear, right? So, or the discomfort in this case, because that's where the real growth comes from, to be honest.
Yeah. By being able to face that, by being, we talk about our comfort zone, comfort zone, comfort zone, but like all you really have to do is, eat dinner with your non-dominant hand and you're out of your comfort zone. You're
Yes.
seeing things differently, you
Yes.
know? Like brushing your teeth with your non-dominant hand, that can be painful. Like, but you learn real quick
Yes.
unless you give up.
Yeah. And what's coming through, like, with the entire message and what you said about the problem piece,
Hmm.
this is about the message of the, like, it's a larger message that's beyond Christina being the vessel of speaking it.
Right.
So there is no problem
That's
because
right.
it will work itself out. The message just needs to be heard.
Yeah. And that brings us to like the 37 that I was reading, that was mine, this morning, which is which brings back, people would be content with their simple everyday lives in harmony and free of desire. When there is no desire, all things are at peace. And this is where we, as we're at the forefront. I would like to say we're
Yeah,
at the
yeah,
forefront of a lot of these things, right? A lot of these concepts and stuff, like
yeah.
in the world. And so, really stripping ourselves of desire for wanting the many out there, right? We
Mm,
could talk to the few as the many.
yes. Yeah.
And you are running out of time. Yeah. Thank you so much, Christina. I love you. If you jump back in within the next 2 seconds, I can let you land the plane. Otherwise, I'm going to bring Bella up. Okay. Yes. Thank you. Um, we're gonna let her land this.
The plane, sending lots of love to Bella. I can't wait to hear her number. But oh,
She
she's
doesn't pick a
gonna
number.
yeah.
Bella,
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 come
Bella,
on. Okay.
Bella has insights that she offers us, but does not pick a number.
Yeah, well,
But
let's see.
I
Maybe
allow, and
today's the
she is
day,
like,
Bella.
I am like, she needs to know she is the only person that can come on here and not pick a number. Like,
I know, I know.
like
Oh, look at her. She's laughing. I know she is. But maybe
she's.
today, just tap in because I'm listening. I got you. Anyways, so I just want to say, with complete gratitude, thank you for being the channel of sharing those messages because they really resonate. And, wish me luck. If
Yeah,
that is even a thing, but next week I am going to step out and I'm gonna, that's the message. Is just step out and do it
just
because
yeah,
it's meant. And don't get fixated whether or not it's perfect or not. The people that need to hear it will hear it, and
yeah,
that's it.
and
That's
and
it.
and you move forward without fear. and
Yes.
and like like this is a bit personal, but like I just found out from my tax guy that I didn't make enough money last year to submit my taxes. And that's like on the line of like shameful.
Yeah. Yeah.
Of course I'm not holding on to that, but that is something that I don't ever. And it's like, and I did so much last year in terms of my workshops and all of that other stuff. It's like I did a lot but didn't make squat for it.
Hmm.
But it is just about being present and being and looking at everything professionally and stuff. And it's like, no matter what, like I know that I'm doing good work and that
Yes,
I'm
you are.
moving in the direction that I need to be going. And like freeing myself from desire is going to be a big thing for me this year.
Yeah.
And so I appreciate you coming in and sharing 63 with me.
Yeah. Well, it was meant, my friend. It was meant.
Oh,
So
I love
there's
you.
okay. I will talk to you later. Love you too. Have a great day.
You as well. All right. We're bringing Bella on. The This is like Bella's just like a peer of mine. It's like she comes on just as it's so
Oh,
beautiful. How are you, dear?
I'm fine, Martin. I think I'm going to interview you before you go on the dark retreat so you can
Oh,
talk a little
please.
bit more about your workshops because I think you you've helped me so much along my path. And you and Christina and others, that I have to try. I went out today. I mean, I know people going out, it's like, well, what's what's the
Yes.
fun?
Oh, was
But to
man,
me,
big
it's
accomplishment.
yeah, it is a
See the small as the large, my dear.
yes, yes. And I just wanted to I actually when I came back, I was like, it's exhausting, to just go out. I was totally drained and I thought, let me go on to wisdom and I entered this workshop of laughter, which was really, really good, kind
Mm,
of relaxed me.
yeah.
Um um before I came on. And then when I came on, you were talking about number 37.
That's yeah. That's I mean, it was either 37 or 63, but yeah.
Yeah, and then Christina was 63, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And could you just kindly remind me of the main theme for both, please?
Sure. 37, the main theme comes down to when there is no desire, all things are at peace.
Mm-hmm.
And what was it, 63? Give me a sec. Um, 63 was oh yeah, it was the act without doing, work without effort, and you don't cling to comfort.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, don't cling to comfort, thus no, thus problems are no problem for her. So it's about like how you see things and how you approach things. So approach things when they're young and adjust them regularly as so confront the difficult while it's still easy is a really sort of kind of core component of this one.
It's when you read it, why I said read it again, because to me it's the same. It's like when
Yeah,
you,
they were very connected.
yeah, because when you sit in your essence, which is love, you have access to everything because love is in everything.
Yes.
Love, the source, the Tao. And this morning in my quiet time, I came across this passage and I feel these two were to me as well. And I read it, but let me read it to you.
Please.
Thoughts are sent to you based on your vibration. Thoughts with a high vibration are $1 million ideas. Thoughts of low vibration are victimized thoughts. You have to choose right now which thoughts you want to receive. You are not the thinker of your thoughts. You are the receiver of your thoughts.
Yeah.
So if we sit in source bliss Tao, we're receiving the highest thoughts.
Yeah.
And when you said desire, for me, what came to me was that desire is that there's lack, but there's no lack if you're
Right.
in the Tao,
Right.
because love is in everything.
Right.
And if we're going to be talking about science, let me just say this. Although I'm not a classic physics fan, but Newton said Newton's three laws, the third one, which I always remembered for exams because it was the easiest, the one I resonated with. Every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. And
Yeah.
when you then add that with the law of thermodynamics, which says energy is neither produced or destroyed, it is. So all this hard work you've done, believe you me, Martin, you are going to reap the fruits of it because it is energy and it has to come back in one form or the other.
Mm. You know, it's interesting. There's a I you say that and I was I remember I was driving. I think I was driving up to Minnesota. This is like over a decade ago, and I was I was I was younger. I don't know how else to say it.
You still look young.
Yeah. um, I you know it was that question of will the where they'll where will there ever be a tree from the fruits that I have sown? Right? Will there ever be? And like that question came to me, and I was just, as I was drawing, just kind of like in this state of like not 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 giving up, but it was like just this like deep unknowing, and it's been a question, and that question came up, years and years ago, and I don't question that as much today because I know it will flourish. I know the seeds that I have, my spirit animal, and I haven't done a talk on spirit animals yet, but it's something I want to know about people because like for me, my spirit animal is the squirrel, and it's
Mhm.
such a like, and I didn't even realize this for the first couple of years that I knew that the squirrel was my spirit animal, but the squirrel plants seeds.
Exactly. And
And
it
I was
hides
like,
them.
oh my God, what's that? And
It
it hides
it
them,
hides
right?
them.
Yes.
It takes it. It takes what it needs, and it hides them.
Yes.
And the thing is that we do not know what we have been planted. And when you say, would there be fruits from the tree? Well, when a tree bears fruit, it has reached a level of maturity,
Yes.
and the roots are very, very deep. The
Yes.
tree cannot bear fruit. And one day, and perhaps when I do the interview with you, we'll talk about the coconut tree. Because this tree, it takes forever to shoot up. And
Mm.
then it decides to shoot up. And when it shoots up, it doesn't have many branches. It just shoots up. And when it gets to maturity, it just has a few fronds, a little bit of branches, nothing to
Mm.
get in the way. And yet, look at the use of the coconut tree. In
Mm.
every sphere of life, the coconut tree has it. And at the same time, the coconut tree always appears by itself.
Mm.
It does not take prisoners. It just says, this is what I'm here to do. I'm here to give. And you know
Yes.
what? Forget all those other trees. I'm just going to go up. We're not going to have enough branches and show off. We're just getting to the point.
Nice.
So
Beautiful.
when I do the interview, let's talk about the coconut tree.
Yes, I want to know all about it because I,
Yeah,
coconut is one of my favorites. Just everywhere, like coconut oil, coconut coconut is, and it's and it's on my diet, which is great because it's so high in fat.
there you go. You've got the squirrel. You've got the coconut tree. Why are
Yeah,
you thinking?
that's right. All I have to do is let go, and as the Tao says, let my waters, let my muddy waters settle, and then I'll be able to see the way.
Just stay. And that Christina is saying, when Christina was talking, I was listening. I'm like, Christina, why are you worried? Just do it.
Yeah. And that's the
Just
thing.
do
Like,
it. What's
she and
all
I, and
this?
everybody worries. We all carry this body around, and we
Yes,
all interact this body with the world around us. And that's why I say like we're on the forefront is because like we know that that's not real, and yet we continue to dip into it. But the more that we come out of it, the more we add to the consciousness of all beings, so that they can come out as well.
exactly. About 2 weeks ago, I often talk to one or two of my professors in Baltimore to let them know the progress I'm making. And one of them said to me, well, I'm coming close to retirement, so let me write something for you, just in case you need to show it because they've got this new computer system and
Mm.
the computer decides everything and the senior person has to override it. And of course, with AI, there are mistakes. And I was
Mm.
like, oh, what, why do I want someone to write anything about me? What's the use? I've done all that I've done. It's not turned up to anything. You know what I mean?
Mm.
And
Turned out to be you, dear.
yeah, well, I'm talking to you as well. I was like, what was the point? What was the point? You know,
Mm.
what was the point of struggling?
I mean, sometimes when I've spoken on here, because I'm really proud of the school, and one day I looked in Wikipedia, and they only take 9% of people, and that even got me upset, because what's the point of going to a school where they take 9% of people, and I didn't manage I allowed other people to manage my affairs, and then I just thought of the two laws I told you.
Yeah.
Perhaps this is time for me to rest
Hmm.
and, like the squirrel, and rebuild.
Hmm.
Because nobody can take away, even though they tried, nobody can take away that I'm a Johns Hopkins alumni. They
That's right.
cannot take away that from me.
And I
They.
watched that movie, by the way.
Oh, did you like
Oh, I
it?
did. I loved it. It was wonderful. It made me cry.
Oh, Martin, I'd like you to remember that, because here was somebody who wanted to be a doctor, right?
Yeah.
He lost all his money through the depression.
Yeah.
He then had to work as a janitor and clean animal pens
Hmm.
in the lab of, I need to say this, of a southern gentleman from a long southern family. Okay?
Hmm.
Yet, by grace, he finishes his job, he doesn't complain, he picks up books, trying to read. And then
Yeah.
the professor surgeon comes up to him and says, "What are you reading?" And he says, "Well, I'm hoping to save up and go to medical school one day." And the professor kind of scoffs at him and then gives him instruments of a surgeon to do. And he sees the dexterity. And so he allows this individual to help him with his research. And this African American, it's given ideas. And suddenly they become a partnership.
Yeah.
Somebody from a southern family and a janitor become a partnership. And he refuses to take a position without this janitor, Vivian Thomas. So Hopkins, because of this research he's doing, which is suddenly gaining a ground, Hopkins invite him, and the professor makes him head of his research lab. Of course, that was time in Hopkins where it's like, what are you doing here? But he believes in himself. Did you see that scene
I
when there
did.
was
Yeah. Yeah.
something?
Yeah. I
He
did.
wasn't. He wasn't disturbed because it just was.
Right.
And then he comes up with a technique. Yeah, and to make matters worse, he moves from a nice home to not so nice area in Baltimore. And to earn money, he has to be a waiter at the professor's parties, although he's doing much of the research.
Yeah.
And one day he hears three doctors talking, and then he suggests something. So they kind of look at him and say, "Who the hell are you? You're just a waiter." And this person, Vivian T. Thomas, I have to give one scene. So he works it all out, and they start coming into the lab, and he starts teaching them the techniques. And at that time, there was no operation on the heart. No, in medicine, the heart was an area where people did not touch. There was no field of cardiac surgery. So the woman came, the blue baby came, and there was no way to help her. And the professor said, "There's this technique, we need to work on it." And they worked on it. Vivian Thomas' idea. So when he began to operate, somebody who was black doesn't go to the operating room. Did you see that scene when the professor went and said, they said, "Oh no, we can't call him." And he picked up the phone and he said, "Vivian Thomas into the operating room." So Vivian comes, stands over his shoulders, directs him, and he performs the first heart operation, opens the field of cardiac surgery and other innovations. And later, the first cardiac surgeons who he trained.
Oh, and you just got cut off. Yes, that is a great movie. I really, I will bring her back on to land that really quick, and then Julie will get will get to you.
This, I don't like coming up, but I'm going to say that I'm landing very quickly. He ends up becoming a doctor, and he ends up having his picture on the line of the great doctors from Hopkins, and he opens the field of cardiac surgery. The film is called Something That the Lord Has Made. So
Yes.
let's not be sad. Let's just stay in our essence, and we never know what source the Tao has for us. Thank you, Martin.
Absolutely. Thank you for that overview of what the Lord has made. Was that what it's called?
Something that the Lord
Something.
has made.
Something that the Lord has made. Yes,
Yeah.
and this relates so much to the first line of 37, whereas the Tao never does anything, yet through it all things are done. And
Yes.
his whole life and everything that came in is was touched. So thank you
Yeah.
so much.
Yes. In touch with Martin if you want the title. But Martin, remember that film, A Bright Future for both you and Christina. Stay blessed.
Thank you. Oh, we're bringing in Julie. Julie, you've been sitting in the queue for a while. We also had Heidi there for a while. I hope she comes back. Julie, my dear, how are you?
How do I follow Bella? Eh?
Yes. How do you do that? Well, you
I
can pick a
have no
number.
idea.
That's something she'll never do.
Oh, bless her. I love her. I love Bella very much.
Me
She's
too,
so,
yes.
so beautiful a person. So, yes, I will pick a number. The number today, I don't know if I've had this before, so I'll have to check with
Yeah,
you.
it starts to get like, oh, and
Yeah.
when Catherine often comes on and has picked numbers that she picked before, and the nice thing about that is to recognize that, like, oh, I'm going toward this number. Does the number have any significance, or do I have to look at this verse differently?
Yeah. Yeah. Because it's even if it's the same number, it may have a
That's
different,
right.
there might be something else for you.
Yeah.
So 54 is my number.
54. The end of the line. Let's see. Whoever is planted in the Tao will not be rooted up. Whoever embraces the Tao will not slip away. Her name will be held in honor from generation to generation. Let the Tao be present in your life and you will become genuine. Let it be present in your family and your family will flourish. Let it be present in your country and your country will be an example for all countries in the world. Let it be present in the universe and the universe will sing. How do I know this is true? By looking inside myself.
How cool. What a lovely, lovely Tao of the day.
It is. This one is slightly different, yeah, because like because it is talking about, instead of saying when you don't do this, you miss the Tao, this one is saying, hey, this is what the Tao can accomplish for you. This is what following
Yeah,
the Tao is going to look like in your life. So we start
yeah,
this one with this line, whoever is planted in the Tao will not be rooted up. So I want to ask, I know you went to one of my workshops. What has your ability to kind of feel more grounded and in control, like at least in control of you, been
yeah.
more kind of prevalent?
Yes, it has because I had to do the work and
Yeah.
you were kind of, you assisted giving me the tools. You didn't do the work. You assisted by giving me the tools
Yeah.
to be able to do it myself. And it was difficult and it tired me
Mm.
and it made me really pop my roots in deep.
Yeah. And that's like,
Yeah.
that's what this is talking about. Like, whatever is planted in the Tao, in you, in that which is you, deep inside of you. And that's,
Yes.
and in the workshop I talk about like living under the influence of other things. And it's like when you can get rid of those things and you realize that it's you, then you're planted in the Tao and you can't be rooted up. Then like your emotions are more kind of on equilibrium and things are just easier to be present with.
Yes. Things are easier to walk through
Yeah.
because they're going to be there anyway. That was the thing. And I am here now. Instead of being almost flitting to the issues, to the experience, to the I am going through them, I am going myself through
Yeah.
whatever experience, ready and open. That was what it was. That's what it was. And yeah, I feel deeper.
Yes. Like you're
Uh,
rooted deeper in you.
yes. And
And so
I'm loving me.
good.
Yes.
This next line is very similar to the same. Whoever embraces the Tao will not slip away. And you just talked about like you can slip away so quickly to the desires of other people or the expectations of other people. You can lose yourself. You can lose your connection to that which is you, which is the Tao.
Yeah. You can because you can interpret, in a through glasses. I always say it's like putting glasses on and viewing things through certain glasses.
Yeah.
And when you take them off and you are viewing it straight from clarity, say, it becomes easier. It
But
becomes
that's
easier.
not that but that's not an easy task. It's like
No,
if you take your glasses off, you're going to see the truth, and the truth is hard to take. You're like,
yes,
okay,
it,
well, I won't take off my glasses. And then you
yeah,
don't take off your glasses for 20, 30, 40, 50 years. And then all of a sudden you're like, well, let me see what's on the other side of this. And you realize that it is hard,
yeah,
but it's so easy.
yeah, exactly that.
Yeah.
Exactly that. Yeah.
It's like that initial discomfort. It's just like someone who's addicted to drugs, right? That initial discomfort of withdrawal is such a deterrent. But
Yeah, it is.
that withdrawal is only going to last so long. It's a finite thing. But what's infinite is your ability to use. And so
Yes.
because withdrawal is finite, that's the better quote unquote route to take because it will end. Where your using may never end. And if it does, it may end in your death. And that's
Yeah.
unfortunate.
Yeah.
We move on to say, her name will be held in honor from generation to generation. That's an interesting thing because I think we have to really reimagine what honor is. We
Yeah.
can't just be like, oh, like you're a prime minister, so your name is an honor, right? Like, or you're, like you're, like you've achieved something physical. But generation to generation, it just makes me think of family.
Yeah,
Like,
because actions they become what they are. So if they happen in the present moment, you tend to push honor to history,
right.
whereas generation to generation, i.e., family, um, and that good feeling that just can magnify and get bigger and bigger and bigger as it goes along. Do
And
you know what
if
I mean?
you,
So it's not left to history. It is ongoing. It's ongoing, and that's the thing about honor. It's an ongoing thing. It's
Mhm.
travels through the space and time because it's there already.
And
But
if you're
yeah,
planted to yourself, and if you're embracing yourself as the Tao, if you're embracing those things that you are, then you're in alignment with everything. And you're not just trying to regurgitate something someone else said. You're not reading a book and then starting a course that's just pushing out someone else's work. You are attached to you. And that's
yeah,
like, and that is what I want everybody to like, that's why I do the work I do, is because you have within you something so much more than anybody has ever written before. And if you don't trust that, you'll get lost in the sea of books and bullshit that everybody else is putting out.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. I totally agree with that. It's unwritable. It's
Yes,
unwritable.
yes,
It's not something you can put in a book. It's
that's
not
right.
something that you can teach to another person. That's not what it is.
You know,
It's there.
there's a Tao that states, um, the knowable Tao is not the real Tao.
Yes.
You know, and it's like if you know it, that's not it. You know, I tell people all the time, it was, you know, like, especially when I talk to Christians and stuff and we talk about God, and it's just like, well, if you can write it down, that's not God. It's like God can't be written down. You can't explain God. You can't I you couldn't there aren't enough trees to write, to make paper, to write who I am, much less who God is. Like the depth
Yeah.
of who I am and the whole of who I am. You can't just encapsulate that.
Even the interpretation of
Right.
who you are.
Right.
Because as soon,
Unless you limit me to some small idea, and that's what
yeah,
they've done with God in every, you know, major religious like text. You know, anytime we talk about, and that's what's great, I think, about the Tao, because the Tao like is expansive. It's not telling you what it is, it's telling you that it is.
yeah. How do you write it is? How do you
Right.
explain that? You can't, can you? I
No,
couldn't.
it's
I couldn't write that
and
word.
we've been, you know, and that's what they tried to say in the Bible, right? Like I am that I am, right? Like that whole thing, and it is said in that way. But if the only thing that you should write is that I am that I am, that's it. End it. Like the more you write, the less you understand, right? Like that's the less that's going to be able to get passed down
Yes,
because
it
it's just
will become,
confusing.
yeah, and also it becomes your interpretation of I am what I am.
Right. It's always
So,
that, you know, and then,
yeah,
but you can interpret I am as being, you know, like I am you, I am everything, I am here. I mean, that's like, but writing it down at all is faulty. It's a faulty premise.
it's
I'm actually gonna do a talk about literacy soon. I'm trying to
great,
plan it out, like because like I am not a fan of general literacy.
great. Let's
I
book me in, Dano. Book
yeah, I
me in
don't.
on that.
I think we've taken it as far as we can go. But let the Tao be present in your life, and you will become genuine. Let it be present in your family, and your family will flourish. Let it be present in your country, and your country will be an example to all countries in the world. Let it be present in the universe, and the universe will sing.
Yeah,
So all of these places, right, in your life, and you will become genuine. Let it become present in your life, and you will become genuine without having to be like anybody else. I've done talks on here a long time ago that were like, why are you the coolest person? Because it's like the thing that you think is cool needs to be the thing that you gravitate toward. Because if you think someone else is cool because of something that they do, you're going to be able to be manipulated into doing that or being that, which you are not. That way,
yes,
that way being present makes you genuine. Whether you like something or not, you're at least being genuine.
yeah, yeah. Because that is the one thing that if you are your genuine self, there is no other you.
Yeah, that's right.
And so therefore you will not need from others if you are content and you just be yourself. I
And
can't
this
be anyone else. It would be too much hard work for
to
me.
try and be someone else.
Yes, I just
And
can't. I would be. I would never be able to be that someone else.
well, let me
Why would I try?
let me take a pause and say you have been.
Previously, of course
Yes.
I have. Yes,
And
because
here we see this next line is let it be present in your family and your family will flourish. As you're discovering more and more of the depth of yourself, you're allowing Millie to discover that. And
And my
that's
daughter.
going to inspire her sister and her mother. And you're going to inspire, your inspiration of her is going to inspire more. And like
Yeah.
now it's in your family. And then that is getting like spread to more people because Millie is the captain of the rugby team. And so let it be present in your country, and your country will be an example for the world.
Yeah. You
And
can
then
see, I can see that.
as Millie continues to, inspire the rugby nation,
Yeah, go on, Billy.
she will it will be present in the universe, and the universe will sing for us all.
Yeah. When she's captain in England, I hope you remember Martin Garcia. But you
I'm
go
gonna be.
for
I'm
it.
gonna be. I'm gonna start watching the English women's rugby team, and then
Yeah.
we'll be hearing a Millie soon.
You will be hearing Millie soon. You will. I have great, great aspirations. She is ready. She's willing. She wants to share that. You know that
Yeah,
she wants to share it in the most beautiful way. And watching her with that lovely confidence and kindness and authenticity, if you like.
yeah,
Watching with that is just beautiful. It's beautiful. It
yeah.
fills my boots. It fills my boots, Martin, John.
That's
It
so
really.
I love that. And this 54 ends with, how do I know it's true? By looking inside myself. Thank you so much. I really I love you, Julie. I love Millie. My best to her. And yeah, I'm always open to hearing more about her adventures. Lois, how are you, my love?
Hmm. How are you?
I am doing very well. Today has been a beautiful day thus far, and now that you're here, it's going to just continue.
Oh, you so sweet. Thank you. I just wanted to hear the dial for me today, and the number 66 keeps coming up.
66. Double numbers are always great, but they don't always get picked because I think people go, oh, well, that's two of the same number. Maybe that's a common one.
No, I was told to pick a number, a multiple of three, and I didn't do three, but I did 33 before, but then something kept
Oh,
saying
this is four
66.
threes.
Yes, yes, exactly. So
Okay,
something
so
told me I had to do the three because three is my
yes.
number.
Three is it. So all streams flow to the sea because it is lower than they are. Humility gives it its power. This is really strong for us today. If you want to govern the people, you must place yourself below them. If you want to lead the people, you must learn how to follow them. The master is above the people, and no one feels oppressed. She goes ahead of the people, and no one feels manipulated. The whole world is grateful to her. Because she competes with no one, no one can compete with her.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Basically, I'm listening to this. So basically, I'm gonna say it in one line: "Can't nobody be me but me being me." And as long as I present me as me in the fullness of me, then I'm not gonna have to worry about it because I just talked to somebody else, and because I was concerned about being propelled to the forefront, where in the limelight, where I'm not uncomfortable with it, but I've seen things in the limelight before because been in the limelight before for doing different things, and I
Hmm.
didn't want to make, and I didn't like all the rest of the stuff that came with the limelight. Okay,
Yeah.
from the people following me to the people, there was a lot of stuff going on. Okay,
Yeah.
when I was in the limelight before, so now I'm being told by my angels, by my parents, everybody, everybody who has talked to me and their astrology and the Tao and everything, that I'm gonna be in the forefront because all you did was solidify that, but I got to still be me. And I'm just, I was fearing that, oh, I'm gonna be in the forefront, and I'm gonna act like everybody else I saw. That's why I never wanted to be in the forefront because I didn't want all that to come on me. But all I got to do is be me, and I don't have to worry about it because I am not. prideful. I don't try to seek my own. You know what I'm saying? That's not
Right.
even me. So I don't even know why I was afraid. But you
Right.
just solidified it just now by saying, just be me. Okay,
Right.
but you go ahead and break it all the way down for
Well,
me.
yeah, we'll break it down together here. All streams flow to the sea because it is lower than they are. Humility gives it its power. This is a common like idea of like this. All the streams go to the sea. They run to the sea in one way or another, right? They get into a
Hmm.
bigger sea or bigger river and
Right,
stuff, and they go down to the sea, and that's because the sea is low. It is
right.
it doesn't. It's not above them. It's not trying to pull them anywhere. It is allowing them to, like this is a really, this is a thing that we talk about in marketing sometimes, where it's like you want people to go to you rather than you go out and get them.
Okay, that's the thing is, and I ain't trying to go. I'm sorry, I thought I was being wrong. I ain't trying to go out and get them. I'm not trying to advertise nothing I'm doing. I just don't me because I didn't want the limelight, but I'm being told that I'm supposed to do video whatever. Do you get more present and all this other kind of stuff because people need to hear what I've been through because it's going to help some people grow.
Hmm.
And my thing again, I don't. I'm just talking about my life. I know that most people say, "Oh, well, she does it," whatever they say. And I don't really care what they say. I'm gonna be real. I don't really care what they saying. I care that I don't mess abuse of power. Okay, that's what I'm not about. And
Hmm.
some and the girls talk to me and she says you from where you're coming from, you're not going to abuse it because you're coming from love, and as long as that's still your intention, you ain't got to worry about the other stuff. And again, I just told somebody else, we're all like H2O, and then for the Tao to say that we're all like droplets of H2O. Some are on top of the mountains, some are clouds in the sky, some are puddles on the ground, but we all got to remember we're just H2O going into the same sea, the same ocean of consciousness.
Yeah.
And everybody's different. Like I said, there's mountaintop that say I'm better than you because I'm a snow-capped mountain. I'm better than you because I'm a cloud and bring rain. I'm better than you because I'm a puddle after the rain. And so I feel that everybody, for me, in my mind, everybody's just the same emanation from the same presence, and we all got different gifts. And right now my gifts are shining really, really bright, and I got to share them, but I don't want to be overtaken by them. But I want them all.
Eventually,
But I want them all. But I want them
yes.
all. But I want them all. Now, I don't know if that's greedy or not, but I want all
No.
the gifts that are available to me to have. And I want to aspire to get there. But it's not so that I can be some powerful genie shit. It's just so I can be the best
well,
me. No, I'm
well,
serious. So I can be the best me that I can be. I
right.
just want to be better tomorrow than I was yesterday. I want to
Yeah.
be better.
And
You
that
know what
may
I'm
and that
saying?
may mean one day you become, some genie type shit. Like that's okay. It's not wrong because it might be one of the gifts that you're calling for.
Okay. All right. Well, then I won't. I won't.
It's
Then
about
you know
it's
what?
like when we start to say I want all of my gifts but not this one because that's
Ah.
not what I want. Like
Well,
immediately
well, okay.
you start shutting down because what if that genie type shit is actually like you are like the judgment that you have about of that genie type shit, whatever it is, um, immediately start with judgment. And
Well,
if you're
okay.
holding it, it's not bad because you're holding it. Maybe you've seen it or interpreted it as bad. But when you
And
say, I want
okay.
all of the gifts that are coming to me, open yourself up, love.
Okay. And I am open, and I'm not afraid of the gifts. I just don't want to misuse them. I guess
That's
that's
right.
fine. That
And
is the
that's where
only
humility
part.
gives you your power. Right?
Okay.
That's where this is saying. If you want to govern the people, you must place yourself below them. If you want to lead the people, you must learn how to follow them.
Okay. All right. All right. Well, like I said, it speaks to what I'm going through right now,
That's
and
right. And it's
trying.
a paradox.
It really is. It really is. Okay, because I know what it feels like to be under the limelight, and I didn't like it before. Okay, I did not like it. bad
On the
because I'm
greedy side.
qualifying it. On the greedy
Right.
side, there it is. On the
Yeah.
greedy side, and I was like, now I didn't get caught up in it when I was doing it. I quit. I
That's
was
right.
like, look, I'd rather be known for my brain than my body. Okay, I'm out. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry.
Yes.
I was out there like, what? We got thousands for you. Come and do another shoot. Da, da, da. No, that's okay. I'm done. I'm done. I'm
Yeah.
done. I'm done. I don't want that kind of fame. I don't
Mm-hmm.
want that kind of notoriety. Now, I like to leave my mark as somebody who helped. I mean, again, who helped a lot of people find themselves. Because it's not
Yeah.
about finding God out there in the ethers. This is not finding out psychological profiles and all that kind of stuff. This is about finding the true self from the. It's like by diving into the center of your own soul. Because
Yeah.
that's what I had to do to get to where I am. I had to dive into dark water today because it's dark only because I didn't know what it hold. But
Yeah.
then when I came up, it was all sunshine. You know what I'm saying? It was like, oh shit, what was I afraid of all these years? So I'm not afraid of any of the things because I'm like this. If Jesus was my brother and he could turn water into wine and transpose and transfix and transfigure, then I should be able to do all that stuff. And
Damn right.
I
Yeah.
open myself up to it because I know that I have people. I've sent a word and people were healed. I have laid hands on and people were healed. I have done a whole bunch of other stuff. It's just a few things I haven't done, and now I'm seeing the fact that wow, it really is possible. What will happen if I what's going one of them
Yeah.
things. So I'm not going to be afraid of the unknown because the unknown is just that unknown. I'm just going to walk boldly into the dark knowing that it's light.
Absolutely.
I
And
mean, I
that's
know.
and it's light because it's within you. And
Yes,
within
there it is.
you is the lightness. Like right,
There.
that is there. And even that negative darkness, like that existed because of the light, because darkness can't exist without light, right?
eh,
Like it
Yeah,
nothing exists without light. So then you're
that's
just kind of
true.
out there in the nothing. So the master is above the people and no one feels oppressed. You know, and depending on what you were doing before, it's very likely that what you were doing was, like oppressing and doing all of these things that, you're in the limelight, which meant you had to keep other people down, or other people wanted you to do that, wanted you to be above other people. But here, when you as the master is above people, no one feels oppressed. You feel as a part of something, right? She goes
Yeah.
ahead of the people and no one feels manipulated. You go ahead and you just say, hey, you can come this way if you want, and no one feels manipulated into following your mind and your work.
Okay. All right. I received that. I received that. I received that. And as I said 3 times. Oh my God, I didn't even
Yes.
mean to. I didn't even mean to. That's
Yeah.
funny. I didn't even
Yeah.
mean to. But yeah, I received that though. That this speaks volumes, and it's this gives again confirmation that I don't have to worry. I'm not those people that I saw go do that stuff you know what I'm saying? Because
Right.
I've seen some things, because I've worked in churches and stuff. I've seen some things and with
Oh
people in
God.
power,
Yeah.
and then in companies are where they have taken the power and abused it, and I'm watching everything, and I can't work for. I love the kids, but I can't work for the company because I can't handle the hypocrisy and the
I
lack
hear
of
that.
integrity. And I leave. I
Hmm.
mean, people say, "Why'd you quit that job?" I'm like, I didn't quit because I didn't like the kids or the job I was doing. I couldn't handle the politics of the job, and I just left it at that. I didn't tell them all the dirty, shady
No. No.
shit they were
No.
trying to get me to do too. Oh hell no, you ain't shady.
Hmm.
I ain't putting no shady on my name.
That's
You
right.
know. So for me, because I saw all that and I know that's in a human being. I guess I was afraid that that's gonna come out of me, but nothing's gonna come out of me but what I let come out of me, and
That's
that's
right.
light, and that's
That.
light, and I'm gonna continue to be a light, and I'm not gonna hide under a bushel because of I have these human human feelings about being out in on stage.
Right.
Okay, now
And
I,
they're
now
they're real. Those are real.
yeah, it is real. It's real, and the thing is that I got to realize that even though I'm on here, I get nervous every time I come on here to do a talk. Okay,
Oh,
I every time
you wouldn't know. You wouldn't know.
well, I appreciate that because I take that fear and I put it down to the ground and I say I'm just going to speak about my life, and if I'm speaking about life, I have nothing to fear because I know where I've been.
Hmm. Well, you lead with truth. Lead with truth.
Yes.
Just
Okay. So
because then you don't have to. Make anything up. You don't have to keep your story straight.
yes. Okay. So as long as I keep doing what I'm doing, basically what you're saying, I'm gonna be fine. And so I'm gonna keep doing what I'm doing and keep listening and keep sharpening the tools and keep learning and keep walking and I'm gonna continue. I'm not gonna let fear stop me and make me hide under a bushel again.
That's right.
Okay. And so I appreciate you, Martin John. I
Now,
love
give me a
you.
minute. We're not done here. Hold on.
Oh, we're
Hold
not
on.
done? Oh,
Don't
okay.
run away just yet. The
All
whole
right.
world is grateful to her because she competes with no one. No one can compete with her.
That is that part. That's the part I'm
Yes.
holding on to.
Yes.
That's the part I'm serious. If I hold on to that because I know who I am, I know I'm not greedy. I know I'm not lusty. I know I'm not all those things that a lot that I've seen with people with
Mm,
power. I know those are my traits because I've never exhibited them before. I've never cheated anybody else. You know what I'm saying? It's like
yeah.
so. Why would I fear? And that was the other thing. Why would I? Because then I came to this conclusion. I feared that because I judged those people.
Girl.
Okay, I'm
Now,
gonna be
yep,
real.
that's all.
I
That's on you.
judge those people, and that's on me. That's on me.
Yeah.
You know, that's on me. And I judged them because I didn't feel like they were doing the thing right because they were cheating us and they were cheating the government. You know what I'm saying? It was
Yeah.
like, what the hell? But I did not mean to stand in judgment. So now I know that I stood in judgment because here I am again judging me when I know that ain't me. So look, guess what? I'm sorry. Please forgive me. I love you. Thank you. I'm a whole my opponent, whole opponent of that shit, and let it
Yes.
go. And however many times it comes up today in my mind, this feeling, these crappy feelings of how I'm feeling right now. It's not crappy. It's just a feeling of apprehension. Like,
Yeah.
do I move forward or do I stay? Do I go forward or do I stay?
You're gonna move forward eventually. You just got cut off, but I just want to say, like, yes, move forward. I just sent you on Instagram 66 so that you can look at that a little later. Nancy, the energy lady, is coming on. She has so much energy. I've been on for a little over an hour, so she's gonna carry us with the energy.
Woohoo! Wait, that's
Yes.
way too much expectation. Come on. Wait, if I
I'm
only
just
have to be
I just
me, I'll be okay. Okay, so
Yes. Well, I just expect you to be here as you, and I know that there's going to be a little hooting and hollering usually
well, I
when you
gotta tell
share.
you, I jumped in when Bella was on, and I don't know
Oh
how
yeah.
long she'd been on, but I listened to 66. And Lois, I just say we are in the same place because she was talking about, I don't remember what she said, but the one thing that I did, and you said it way back when I found this gift, is I told my girlfriend who was helping me, be comfortable in my skin. I said, I just don't want to be a guru. I don't want to be a Buddha. I don't want to be a Buddha. And I was laughing when you were talking to Lois about that because nobody said, what's a Buddha to you?
Right.
And I didn't want to be looked at as a person who would just be in that space and be all that and people looking at me and admiring me. And then I realized, wait, and I realized this years later. I went, wait a minute. I've been telling myself what I don't want to be, which means I'm holding myself back, which is why things weren't working.
Yeah.
So that was such a validation when you were saying most of what Lois got on 66 was she did it for me. She didn't do it for herself.
Yes. Well, yes, and that's the wonderful thing about like really recognizing our place in the world is that, oh, Nancy, you only exist for me.
Absolutely.
Right? And
Absolutely.
I only exist for you. I am not here in your life as some separate entity making choices and being something. If you judge me for something, that's not for me to onboard. That's your shit. It has
And it's,
nothing to do with me.
yeah, right. Except I'm around it. So it's got to have something to do with me. Um, but I just don't have to own it. And that's the thing is, I took on, for many years, I took on other people's opinions of life.
Yeah.
And I didn't get to hear Christine's and your talk about where you're at, but I have a feeling we're in the same place. So emotionally and energetically, as far as being ready to catapult, but not having that confidence that we can do it. So, and it's my cat has a very huge opinion on this.
I
Uh,
see. Yeah. Like my cat's kind of blinking, going, "God, what is that? What is that? What do you do? What is that shit? I'm trying
I
to
know.
nap."
Yeah, no, he's got his own issues, and in the morning he's like, "You're mine, mom." Um,
Yes. Pay attention to
hey,
me.
well, he's 18 years old, so
Oh man.
yeah.
Congratulations.
Yeah, his brother, he got kidney issues, and I didn't know it until his brother had
Mm,
issues, and you go to 3, 4 different vets, and nobody tells you until the end. It's
yeah.
awesome.
I'm
It was
sorry.
awesome. I'm like, they go, well, it's very normal, and I'm like, to who?
Right.
So, but it's taught me a lot, and what I can do, and I've, this cat's alive, but in the morning, I think his kidneys are like, help me now.
Yeah. Yeah.
But which is fine, whatever. So I'm
Yeah.
just trying to keep him quiet so I can actually talk to you.
Well, why don't you give me a number and see
I
what it
don't.
says
Okay.
about kidney problems.
Yeah, right. Well, yeah. What was I gonna say? I don't know if this number's come up yet, but because I haven't heard the whole thing, but 75 is sticking to me.
75.
Yeah.
75 didn't come up today. Oh,
Oh,
it's a
cool.
short one. It's a short one.
You
Ooh.
know what? The last one I picked was short too. That's pretty cool. Go ahead.
When taxes are too high, people go hungry. When the government is too intrusive, people lose their spirit. Act for the people's benefit. Trust them. Leave them alone.
That is funny. I think I've had this one before.
I think so too. Like I was like, as soon as I read it, I was like, I think this is the one that I referenced. It was so short.
Yeah. What did I want to say miss? What did I skip over in this one?
So let's go through it, because
Yeah.
here we talk about, like, and I think we've talked about this, as taxes, when taxes are too high, and when taxes could just be anything you have to pay for something, right? Like your cat. When
Right.
taxes are too high, when its body is taxed to the extent the body gets hungry for attention, hungry for water, especially with kidneys, right? Like
Right.
it's so taxed right now.
And I do think that, and my life was taxed for a very long time, wanting to figure out, find out why I felt taxed. And I actually just had a breakthrough yesterday. So there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, like all these things, every time we get taxed for something, and it's always it's always a balance. For me, in terms of addiction, it was the oh, whoa, yeah, buddy. So when taxes, like your body will be taxed, but as you get older, the taxes you pay for being drunk get higher. Because like your body can't handle it and doesn't bounce back as much as it used to. And so like the taxes versus, even in your job, right? You've talked about like having jobs where like eventually the taxes get too high and you get hungry for like you get hungry for fulfillment,
Right.
because you're not being fulfilled to the degree that you want to be, and you're being taxed as if you are.
That actually makes sense as to what I had this nice, wonderful conversation with a friend yesterday. And I told her, I said, I just need to ask you blunt questions because you think I see it. And,
Mm,
and she did. She thought I saw it.
yeah.
And so, yeah, because I have, that's a great way of putting it, is I have been taxed ever since I dove into this genre. I mean, I was being taxed before, but it was okay. Um, but jumping into going on my own has been very taxing for me because I didn't have a ground.
Right.
I listened to what other people were telling me to do and it blew up in my face. What?
Right.
And the way
Yeah.
I felt was incorrect. And that's the beauty of this, is that my cat.
I
The
know.
be-
What's
the
his
be-
name?
Peanut.
Peanut. Okay, we're gonna call him Peanut rather than my cat.
Peanut.
Yeah.
Everybody can hear you in the lounge, just so you
Peanut.
know.
I think you're a splendid kitty. I have a kitty. I have a buddy who has a cat, and his name is Pretzel.
Oh my god.
So
Yeah,
yeah.
no, we had Snowbell and Peanut because of the movie that was out there, and my son's like, "Mom," because a cat had the Snowbell had the white paws, and I said, "Well, what are you going to name this one?" He goes, "Well, his paws kind of look like peanut butter, Mom." I went, "Okay." So he's been Peanut for 18 years.
Very cute.
I call him P. Mr.
Yeah.
P, Mr. P. But yeah, no, it's very interesting because what I realized, I know that I haven't really been talking, I didn't talk on wisdom and I missed my talks for the last 2 days. And it's because I was feeling taxed. I really was. I was like, okay, how am I supposed to do this? And I went, no, I'm not supposed to do this. What am I not seeing?
Right.
And it is, it's all about, and what I was going to say before Peanut took over is that I think it's awesome that all the things that I was told I needed to maintain as a child and as an adult, I'm coming out and being. And I love that.
Yeah. It takes some
Pers-
time. And this next line is, when the government is too intrusive, people lose their spirit. And the government could be all sorts of things. Could be the words of other people. It could be, that
You're,
which is governing your body, or which is making your decisions.
right. And it could be the community that I've been around thinking that they had answers,
That's right.
whatever that is. I mean, that could be anything. And
Right. It could be anything. And it becomes too intrusive. If it's too intrusive, of course you want support, you want community, you want all these things. But if it's making your choices for you, if it's getting in the way, if it's getting intrusive on your life, you can lose your spirit.
and that's the thing, is every time I said I want to go left, they said, no, you need to go right. And they didn't ask me why I wanted to go left. And I went, what? And I thought to myself going, maybe because I was listening to Lois's thing, and it's really is about standing as me to see what I've already created.
Yes.
And that's what I really got this morning when I was walking. I know he almost bit my hand, little twit. Um, I do things to help him out, and because it hurts, he decides he's going to take it out on me. And I'm
Yes.
like, but if I don't do it, then your body will shut down, goofball.
Yeah.
Yeah, well,
The taxes are pretty high on him right now.
right, exactly. So I'm going to say, I'm going to the kitchen. Forget you.
Yep.
Um, yeah, no, you threaten me. I ain't there.
That's right. This is not an abusive relationship.
No, and I've been in enough of them to say no.
Yes,
So
I know how to say no. Took me
yeah, I know
18
how to say
years.
no, and mainly no, thank you. Um, no, and this, I mean, this is like I said, I'm taking Lois and this one. I think this is a continuation of
Yeah.
66 for
I
me,
think, yeah, a lot of these have been really kind of connected today. And then the last two lines are: act for the people's benefit, trust them, leave them alone.
which is asking them what they want.
Yeah. And
Instead of telling them, which is what I don't like, and trying to
right.
prove to them that I'm worthy. Um,
Right. I know so many people that have that, like that have that within them, where it's just this space of like, just tell me I'm okay.
yeah,
And
no,
that's what
and
we
you know
get,
what?
like,
Oh my God, you just said something, Martin. What I used to do, people would come to me and say, "Fix me. Tell me I'm okay.
yeah,
Fix me." And I kept saying, "I can't. You're not broken."
that's right.
But
That's
they
right.
didn't want to own it, because that's what I tell people all the time. I'm writing my transparency letter, and I'm
Hmm.
gonna post it all over, because I'm really, ignorance is not bliss. That's all I
No,
got. Ignorance is
no.
not bliss, and people have accepted that ignorance is bliss, so they can have an excuse. And I mean people as far as society and stuff.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
I'm going to be transparent and see who comes to me, just like Loy said. And
Right.
I've been taught that you're supposed to go out and chase people, and I I can't. And I did have a friend
Yeah.
tell me, Nancy, people need to show you that they're good friends.
Right.
You know, they need to come after you. And I'm like, why? You know, but it's true.
Yeah. No one's gonna want me
Yeah. It's
unless I
it's
unless
it's
I
more about,
convince
wait,
them.
do I have enough for them? Because, and I know I do. I know I
Yeah,
do. I have to, because how can I be anything different than I am?
that's right. You
Messed
are.
up or not, screwed up or not, ugly or not, it doesn't matter. It's who I am.
That's right.
You know? And what's really cool is as many trials and tribulations that I've been through, and didn't have self confidence, I really am watching my son um, have that confidence, and I keep going, God, I really instilled that in him. That's so stinking cool,
Yeah.
you know.
And he is probably also struggling with confidence.
Oh, he absolutely, yeah, he is in
Right?
his
So
own
it's not
areas.
it's so personal, and it's such a thing.
Right,
and
but you know
those are things we
the
have to
thing
get
that
over.
right, the thing that he learned for himself in his time is being transparent is all he wants. So if you don't like it, take a hike. And I told him one day, I said, "Can I have some of that?"
Yeah.
Because he's not rude unless you get rude to him, and that
Right.
really is something that is it's a gift. Because if you don't like what he shows me is if you don't like if I don't like something you're saying, I'll just kind of drop it by. But if you put it in my face, I'll tell you what's up.
Right.
And I went, damn man.
Damn
Sometimes I
man,
want some
they
of
can
that
do
man
that.
thing. Man
You
thing.
you have plenty of that man thing.
That's what people tell me. They go, "You're really balanced with your feminine and masculine." And I said, "Well, I had to be mom and dad. I guess that was the benefit."
Yeah.
No, it was really cool. When my son got married just recently, and this is really
Well,
personal, but
congrats.
when he got thank you, when he got married, he did a dance. He picked our dance that oh my god, it was crying. We were both crying. Everybody was crying, and we didn't know everybody was crying because we went into our own zone. But in that moment, I became only mom,
Yeah.
so he could be a husband. It was the most awesome experience in the world to be able to shift that out. He's still struggling with that because he's so used to mom being mom and dad, but
Right.
he has a dad, but he doesn't consider him emotionally dad. So it's really kind of cool that he's being the man, and but I relieved myself of being the dad, and I didn't even realize I was doing it, Martin.
Yeah.
But I had to when he was a baby, so or a kid. So yeah, this is really. Is there any more before I get thrown down?
No,
Because
no,
I'm
no,
just.
no. It's all we've done it.
So what the whole synopsis of this is take Lois's and mine and say I'm in the good space. I really am. And I want to stay within this community because this is the emotional community that is supporting my well being. So
Well, I'm glad
uh,
to be a part of that.
I'm glad you are too, buddy. I missed you yesterday. And that's all I got.
All right.
I had to do some private time, quiet time and not have anything in the morning. And yeah. So
Yeah.
thank you so much. And I really appreciate you. And I'm just going to keep listening to hear whatever you got if you have any more.
Oh, well, thank you so much. So
And
it's
you
so
will see
it's
me later on. You'll see me today. I'm just not sure when.
well, I'll be around and we'll see if we can catch you.
Okay.
All right, love you.
Thank
Such a beautiful day today with all of the wonderful people. I am going to go back and we're gonna finish off by covering 37. Like finishing 37, we only touched on it early. I'm gonna reread it and then we'll kind of go through a quick overview of it. The Tao never does anything, yet through it all things are done. If powerful men and women could center themselves in it, the whole world would be transformed by itself in its natural rhythms. People would be content with their simple, everyday lives in harmony and free of desire. When there is no desire, all things are at peace. And that is such a big, big deal. Like for us to be present in this moment right now and be at peace in harmony with all the way things are at the moment. We talked to Julie about that. Julie has been stepping into that. We talked with Christina about that, and Bella brought it up, and everybody's like in this space of, hey, can we be content with the way things are at this moment? And yes, if powerful men and women could center themselves in it, the whole world would be transformed by itself. Everybody, all of the powerful men and women are like, oh my God, there are problems. We have to fix them. We know the solutions, and they're not pleasant solutions, but like if we were able to just face those solutions, I think that things would be okay if we started taxing the rich and like being able to provide for the people of the world, rather than there being people with hundreds of billions of dollars, right? Like if we were able to tax people properly, we might be able to actually fix a lot of the problems that are in the world today. And I think that if powerful men and women could center themselves in their hearts and in the Tao, then things would return to stasis pretty quickly. It would not be what we see today. It would not be the world that you know. Of course not. It couldn't be, because the world that when we talk about addiction in the rooms of AA and other places, it's just like it's your actions that got you here, and this is a place you don't want to be anymore. So if you want to get somewhere else, You're going to have to give up all of that addiction that you had before. And when you tell an addict that, tell someone in active addiction that, they say, "Oh my God, no, I'm not going to give it up forever. I'm just going to give it up for 30 days." And you're like, "Okay, that's a start." And when they give it up for 30 days, they go, "You know what? I'm feeling a little better. I'm going to give it up for another 30 days. I'm going to give it up for 90 days." And many of those people end up never drinking again because they were able to approach it in a way that they needed to. And we didn't try and, like, I hope people aren't sitting there going, "No, if you're going to," like, if they're here on day 3 and they say, "Wait, I'm going to have to give this up forever." And I say, "Well, no." But if you tell them, "Yes, you're going to have to do that forever," and stuff, like, then there's going to be a reaction to that. They're not going to want to do that because the world has to be transformed on its own, not through your decree. People would be content with their simple and everyday lives in harmony and free from desire. Wouldn't you love that? It's like, just be here now. Everything, as we talked about, I think in Nancy's 75, that space of, like, um just be here now. Just be doing this thing. I got to open it because I forget, but I do believe it was 75. So let me open it up really quick. 75 says, "When taxes are too high, people go hungry." Like, right, when you tax your body so much that you can't, that it's not in balance anymore. That's what this kind of pulls for me. People will be content in their simple everyday lives. Simple everyday lives. You're not being overly taxed. You're in harmony and free from desire. There's a good balance in your life. When there is no desire, all things are at peace. And that's a really great message for me today. Because, like, I did journal today about desire, about things that I want. And I'm like, well, maybe I just need to want what I have and see where it goes. The immediate judgment that comes into my mind is, "Oh, well, then you're being lazy. Oh, well, then you're just not wanting enough. Oh, well, then you're," like, all of these judgments against myself come in. But it's like, really? No, I'm just being content with where I am, and I know things are going to change. I just maybe don't know how, and I don't have to predict that either. So when there is no desire, all things are at peace. And with that, this is the end of another week of Tao of the Day. This is the Friday Tao of the Day, and so I will not be seeing you on Saturday and Sunday. I may be doing some other talks, of course, but Tao of the Day will return on Monday. Um, and yeah, I love doing Tao of the Day, and I love that you guys join me for Tao of the Day. The Tao is such a important text in my life, and has been in my growth. And I think, from what I'm hearing of so many of you, that it could be like an impetus to continue growing for yourselves, and that's something that I'm really grateful for. I hope that you guys have a wonderful day. I'm Martin John, the Recovery Mentor. I do have another workshop coming up this Tuesday. So if you're interested in checking out my work, um, in that capacity, reach out to me on Instagram, or you can find my link tree and other things, and links to all that I do. And I work with a limited number of one-on-one clients every month. So if you're interested in doing a deep dive into recovering yourself and knowing who you are, definitely reach out. I'm always open to taking new clients. I only take 10 a month, but I've never filled my dance card. So if you can help me do that, that'd be wonderful. And other than that, I am the Recovery Mentor. I am the host of the Recover Yourself podcast. And I'd like to say, just until next time, each and every one of you, I hope you continue recovering yourselves. Love you. Have a wonderful day.